Greetings to all. Welcome to Future Officers Academy. Today we are going to see the daily current affairs of July 13. Today we are going to discuss the topics are stay on bail should only be granted in rare access, which comes under GS2 paper under Indian polity. Next, Center declares June 25 as Samvidhan Hatya Divas, which comes under GS2 Indian polity and constitution. Next, it comes under prelims perspective, that is new species of dogfish shark discovered in Kerala harbour. Next, India shows good progress on SDGs Niti Aayog report, which comes under GS2 and governance also in Indian economy paper. Next, we have to generally know about the pitch black exercise. Next, we'll have an editorial analysis and finally we'll see the mapping. So now our first topic is about stay on bail should only be granted in rare cases. First, we have to see what is about in news. The Supreme Court criticized High Courts for routinely staying bail orders, highlighting a threat to personal liberty and due process. Justices emphasized that stays should be rare and justified, reserving judgment on the issue following Parvinder Khuran's case. The Supreme Court highlighted a concerning trend where high courts frequently stay bail, posing a threat to personal liberty and to due process. They emphasized that bail should only be stayed in rare and exceptional cases such as evident legal perversity or cases involving terrorists. First, we have to know about right to default bail. Under the first Supreme Court decision, first default bail defined as a right under the section 167 Class 2 of CRPC, where an accused is granted bail if the investigation is not completed within the stipulated period of 90 days for serious offences. Next, 60 days for others. Next, the statutory and fundamental right is the Supreme Court in the Ritu Chavarian case emphasized that default bail is not just statutory but a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution. Now, the purpose of this is the right prevents the state from exercising arbitrary power and ensures timely investigation. The police custody limit is an accused can be held in police custody for up to 15 days. Further detention requires judicial custody. Next, incomplete charge sheets. Filling an incomplete or supplementary charge sheet within a 60 or 90-day period does not negate that the right of default bail. Next, the Rudo Chabria case impact. The court ruled that such practices by investigation authorities to prevent default bail are invalid, reaffirming the protection against prolonged detection without proper investigation and compilation. So that's all from this topic. Our next topic is about Center declares June 25 at Samvidhan Hatya Divas. Now, what is it says in news? The Union government declared June 25 as Samvidhan Hatya Divas to honor those who are suffering during the 1975 emergency. So the day aims to remind citizens of the importance of upholding the Constitution and democracy. The Gazette notification cited the emergency proclamation and subsequent abuses of power, stating the observance would honor the victims and prevent future abuses. Now we have to know about emergency. It refers to legal measures and classes within a country's constitution or laws that enable the government to respond swiftly and effectively to extraordinary situations such as war, rebellion, or other crises that threaten the nation's stability, security, or sovereignty and democracy of India. Now, what are the provisions of emergency in the Constitution? These provisions are outlined in Article 352 to 360 under the part of 18 of the Constitution. The emergency provisions of Indian Constitution draw inspiration from Germany's Weimar Constitution. First, Article 352. Its subject matter is proclamation of emergency. Article 353. Effect of proclamation of emergency. Article 354, application of provisions relating to the distribution of revenues while the proclamation of emergency is in operation. Article 355, duty of the Union to protect states against external aggression and internal disturbance. Article 356 says about the provisions in cases failure of constitutional machinery in states. Article 357, exercise of legislative powers under proclamation issued under the Article 356. Next, Article 358, suspension of provisions of Article 19 during emergencies. Article 359, suspension of the enforcement of the rights conferred by Part 3 during emergencies. Next, Article 360, the provisions of the financial emergency. Now, what is the approval, duration, revocation of national emergency? The cabinet's consent is required. Next, the parliament approval, the duration, also the continuation of beyond 6 months, the special majority, and in case of dissolution of Lok Sabha, judicial review, revocation. So these are all necessary in Lok Sabha. Next, what are all the amendment in national emergency provisions seen here? First, we have to know about the original constitution and after the amendment of the 44th amendment. In original constitution proclamation, it says about on president's council of ministers satisfaction. Under amendment 44, it says about written occurrence of the cabinet. Next, in parliamentary approval, in original constitution it says that necessity within 2 months, but in amendment it says is necessary within 1 month. The constitution continuation is to be no limitation mentioned in the original constitution, but in 44th amendment the parliament's approval every 6 months have been done. Next, the judicial review. Under the original constitution it says the 38th amendment restricted judiciary. Original constitution is silent on this, but in 44th amendment it is repealed the provision against review that has been introduced via 38th government amendment. Next, the original constitution of the revocation says that parliament has no power, but in amendment it says about parliament resolution by simple majority and special session if 100% MPs demand. So, with this, what are the effects seen in national emergency? The effects on center relations, center and state relations have been seen. Also, the term of Lok Sabha and state assemblies have been seen. Also, the effect on fundamental rights also have been affected. With this, we have to know about the previous year. Not the previous year. We have a practice question here. That is, consider the following statement with reference to emergency provisions in the Constitution. Here, the president can suspend any fundamental right during the proclamation of emergency. The president order on suspension of fundamental rights should be laid before the parliament for approval. Here, the answer is B. They are asking only for the correct statement. So, only the second statement is correct. Now, we will move on to the next topic. New species of dogfish shark discovered in Kerala harbour. So, scientists from the Zoological Survey of India, led by Binish K, discovered a new deep-water dogfish shark species, Squalus hima, in Kerala. Published in the Journal Records of Zoological Survey of India, the species highlights the demand for liver oil in the pharmaceutical industry. It is a new species of dogfish shark discovered from the southwest coast of India. Squalus is a genus of dogfish sharks in the family Squalidae, commonly known as spur dogs, and are characterized by smooth dorsal fin spines. They also have an angular short snout, a small mouth almost as wide as snout, a first dorsal fin origin behind the pectoral fins, and a body without any spots. They are exploited for their liver oil, which contains high levels of squalene, squalene when it is processed for products. It is in high demand in pharmaceutical industry, particularly for making high-end cosmetic and anti-cancerous products. On the Indian coast, two species of squalus are found from the southwest coast of India. A new species, Squalus hima, is a very similar to Squalus lalanae but differs in many characteristics. The newly discovered Squalus hima differs from other species by the number of precaudal vertebrae, total vertebrae, teeth count, trunk and head height, fin structure and fin color. Now with this we can see the previous year question paper which have been asked in currently to 2024. Certain of which one of the following organisms are well known for the cultivators of fungi? Here the answer is A, ant. Next, our topic is about India shows good progress on SDGs, Niti Aayog report. Why it is in news? Niti Aayog's fourth evaluation report on Indian progress towards the 16 Sustainable Development Goals shows an improved score of 71 out of 100 in 2023, up from 57 in 2018, highlights gains in health, education, reduction and inequality. The report highlighted declines in income and gender inequality scores. What is the sustainable development? Here we have to know that development which meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The most widely accepted definition of sustainable development was given by the Brundtland Commission in the report of Our Common Future in 1987. So we have to know about this SDGs. It was adopted in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly, comprising 17 goals aimed at addressing the global challenges by 2030. The scope of SDG is covering social, economic and environmental dimensions of sustainable development to eradicate poverty, protect the planet and ensure prosperity to all. The importance of it is to provide a universal framework for global cooperation towards sustainable development, encouraging government, business and civil society to take action. The progress of SDG is regular monitoring and reporting mechanism, track progress at national and international levels to ensure accountability and transparency. Now, here the 17 goals of SDG includes is first, no poverty. Second, zero hunger. Third, good health and well-being. Fourth, quality education. Fifth, gender equality. Sixth, clean water and sanitation. Seventh, affordable and clean energy. Eighth, decent work and economic growth. Ninth, industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10th, reduced inequality. 11th, sustainable cities and communities. 12th, responsible consumption and production. 13th, climate action. 14th, life below water. 15th, life on land. 16th, peace, justice and strong institutions. And finally, the 17th goal is partnerships for the goals. So these are the goals included in SDGs. With this, we'll see the previous year question paper which have been asked in 2016 prelims. Consider the following statement. The Sustainable Development Goals were first proposed in 1972. The global think tank is called Club of Rome. The Sustainable Development Goals have been achieved by 2030. Here the answer is B. Only the second statement is Correct. We know that it was proposed in the year of 1987. So it is wrong. Now we'll move on to the next topic, the pitch black. So, an Indian Air Force, that is IAF, contingent is practicing in exercise Pitch Black 2024, which is scheduled to be conducted from 12th July 24 to 2nd August 24 in Australia. Now we have to know about this exercise Pitch Black. It is the biennial and multinational exercise hosted by Royal Australian Air Force, that is RAAF. The name Pitch Black was derived from the emphasis on nighttime flying over large unpopulated areas. The 2024 edition is slated to be largest in the 43-year-long history of exercise Pitch Black, which includes participation by 20 countries with over 140 aircraft and 4,400 military personnel of various air forces. The exercise will focus on large force employed warfare aimed at strengthening international cooperation and shall facilitate experience enhancement with IAF Su-30 MKI operating alongside F-35, F-22, F-18, F-15 Gripen and Typhoon fighter aircraft. The IAF contingent comprises over 150 highly skilled air warriors, including pilots, engineers, technicians, controllers, and other subject matter experts who will be operating a formidable Su-30 Mk-1 multi-role fighters with C-17 Globemaster and IL-78 air-to-air refueling aircraft in combat enabling roles. The exercise would provide IAF with an opportunity towards force integration with participating nations and mutual exchange of best practice. Now, what are the significance of it? This exercise provides an excellent opportunity for strengthening the ability of the participating nation to deploy over large distance, support integrated operations in the Indo-Pacific region, and build strong aviation associations in the highly challenging environment. The IAF has previously participated in 2018 and 2022 editions of the exercise. The Indian participation seen on those times. Now, what are the other exercises with this? The bilateral exercise is Astra Hind. Astra Hind. This is an army exercise. The next is X Ocean Dex. It is an navy exercise. The multilateral is seen Malabar exercise with the navies of US, India, Australia, and Japan. For this, we have to know about the previous year question paper which has been asked recently in 2024 prelims. So, which of the following statements about exercise Maitra Shakti 2023 are correct? This was a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. It is commenced in Oudh, Pune, and joint response during counter-terrorism operation was goal of this operation. Indian Air Force was a part of this exercise. Here the answer is 2, 3 and 4 and the statement 1 is wrong. Now we'll move on to the editorial analysis. The topic of today's editorial analysis is the PDS impact on household expenditure. Here the expenditure survey 2022-2023 examines the impact of India's public distribution system on household spending patterns. It includes imputed values of free items received, providing insights into consumption diversification and poverty estimation, implications based on comprehensive data. With this, we have to know about the introduction of Public Distribution System and National Food Security Act. The Public Distribution System (PDS) aims to ensure food security by providing subsidized food grains to economically vulnerable sections of society. Under the National Food Security Act 2013, up to 75% of rural population and 50% of the urban population are eligible for subsidized food grains. Food grains procured by the Food Corporation of India are distributed through a network of fair price shops. Next, the impact. The impacts are empirical inquiry and diversification of consumption are seen under the impacts. Now, what are the implications have been seen? So the implications are economic relief for poorer households have been the best implication. Also, the enhanced measurement of poverty, policy insights and targeting, and diversification of diet are seen under the implications. But this we have to know about poverty. According to World Bank, poverty is pronounced deprivation in well-being and comprises many dimensions. It includes low income and the unable of to acquire the basic goods and services necessary for survival with dignity. Poverty also encompasses low levels of health and education, poor access to clean water and sanitation, inadequate physical security, lack of voice, and sufficient capacity and opportunity for one's better life. In India, 21.9% of the population lives below the national poverty line in 2011. Now we'll have different types of poverty. They are absolute poverty and the relative poverty. Here, the absolute poverty is a condition where household income is below a necessary level to maintain a basic living standards. This condition makes it possible to compare between different countries and also over time. It was first introduced in the year 1990. The dollar a day poverty line measured absolute poverty by the standards of world's poorest countries. Next, the relative poverty. It is defined from the social perspective, that is living standard compared to the economic standards of population living in the surroundings. Hence, it is measure of income inequality. So that's all from this topic. Also with this, the poverty, we have the elevation program which is conducted by India. They are integrated rural development program, that is IRDP. Next, Jawahar Rozar Yojana, that is Jawahar Gram Samriddhi Yojana, Rural Housing Indira Awas Yojana, Food for Work Program, National Old Age Pension Scheme, Annapurna Scheme, Sampurna Gramin Rozar Yojana, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Fund Employment Guarantee Act, that is MGNREGA, National Rural Livelihood Mission, Ajivika, National Urban Livelihood Mission, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. These are some of the poverty elevation programs done by India. Now we'll move on to the mapping session. The mapping topic is the Ganga River and its system. And the origin of Ganga is seen in the Gangotri Glacier, and its length is 2525 kilometer, and its catchment area is 8.61 lakh square kilometer. So with this we have to know about the tributaries of Gangas. Numerous tributaries join Ganga both from left and right tribunal. Most of them have the origins in the Himalayan mountains, although some originate from the Peninsula Plateau. With this we have to know about the left bank tributaries of Ganga. The first one is Ram Ganga. Here we could see Ram Ganga. That is a left bank tributary. Its origin is from Garhwal district in Uttarakhand, and its length is 596 km. So this Ram Ganga rises in the Garhwal district in Uttarakhand and enters Ganga plain near Kalgarh, and it finally joins the Ganga at Kanauj. Next, the Gomati. The Gomati's origin in northern UP, and after entering the Ganga plain, it passes through the Lucknow and finally meets the Ganga. Next is Garga. It is origin near Gurla Manda Peak, that is in south of Mansovar Lake in Tibet. Its length is 1080 km. It originates in Tibet, then it flows through Nepal, where it is known as Karnali. After entering the plains, it joined the important tributaries like Sarda, Sarju, and Rapti. Ayodhya is located on the banks of this river Sarju. It finally meets Ganga in the Chhapra district of Bihar. The river has the high flood frequency and it has shifted its course several times. The next is Gandak. It is near the Tibet and Nepal border. Gandak, Tibet and Nepal border. And Nepal, like Kali, Gandak, Bari, Trishuli, etc. It finally enters the plains and joins the Ganga at Hajapur near Patna in Bihar. The next is Koshi. Here it is origin from Tibet and it has 730 km and gradually tributaries join or reduced three streams in Nepal known as Triveni. These three streams merge as known as the Koshi when it enters India. It enters into the plain region just when it enters India, carrying a lot of sediments and has a large volume of water. Due to sediments, the depth of basin becomes shallow and the river becomes sluggish, making the braided river channel with shift its course frequently. Due to this results in frequent devastated floods and the river known as Sorrow of Bihar. Next, Mahananda. Its origin from Darjeeling Hills. After entering the plains, it joins the Ganga, its last bank of tributary. It is the last bank of tributary. So that's all from our today's topics. To read this document, you can visit our website. Our website link have been provided in the description. To get more daily current affairs videos, follow our YouTube channel, also our Telegram channel. Thank you.